Nigerians, we are fond of taking law into our hands.
Yes.
So in Lekki particularly, I know a lot of tenants who have subletted houses without the landlord's consent. That is very illegal. Very, very illegal. As a tenant, you do not have a right to sublet some part of your house to a third party without the landlord's consent.
Absolutely.
That is very illegal, and we must always. I mean, this is the show where we put you on the right side of the law. If you have any spare space in your house and you want to rent it out, get your landlord involved. Sir, I live in a 4-bedroom duplex, but I barely use 2 rooms. Am I allowed to rent out these other 2 rooms? In the UK, it's a normal thing in the UK. A lot of people that stays in the UK stays in shared apartments.
Yes.
Even in America, even in Dubai.
And another thing I will want to quickly chip in is,
yes, please.
Even if you are subletting, you shouldn't grant more than what you have. For example, you have a 1-year rent.
Yes.
And out of the 1 year, you've
done 6 months.
You've done 6 months or 8 months already.
Or
you've done 4 months already.
Yes.
You have 8 months left.
Yes.
If you are subletting, you shouldn't sublet more than
outside
7 months.
Your tenancy period.
Outside your tenancy period.
Yes, which I think is a problem in this country.
So
people rent outside their tenancy period.
Exactly.
They now leave the landlord with liability.
Yeah.
Your contract has ended. You have moved out. You're now passing on your liabilities to the landlord. It's wrong.
It's very wrong.
And that's why sometimes we say some landlords, that's why I don't blame landlord that will just go and pour sand in front of the house or do all sorts of, because this is people's investment.
Yes.
And you cannot come and make a mess of it because you're out of your own greed. Some tenants will rent house 1 million naira. They'll start subletting the house 1 room, 1 million. He or she paid 1 million for a whole duplex.
Exactly.
They want to make more money than the actual owner of the house. This is not even legal. If the landlord is aware, no problem. Some landlord allow rent to rent.
Yes.
You rent it, then you now also rent it out.
It's actually common in Lekki now.
It's common in Lekki, yeah.
Commercial properties you see everywhere. Those malls, they do long lease and they sublet.
Long lease, exactly.
It's okay, landlords of course will be aware.
There's a consent.
There's a consent of the
So you don't do it behind the landlord or against the landlord's consent. So I mean, that's why again, contracts, we must emphasize the importance of contracts.
Yes. Another problem I have with subletting or shared apartment is a 4-bedroom house has been designed to cater for a family. So by the time you now sublet the 4 rooms to each person you have 2 ladies staying in 1 room. There's about 8 or 10 people.
No, forget Lekki. We have 5 ladies, 5 girls staying in 1 room.
In fact, they just put up bunk. It will be as if they're in an hostel.
Yeah.
They will mess up the facility provided in that property.
Yeah, because the facility does.
And what have you cannot carry
because it will be overused and they'll start breaking down.
And they mess up the
and the landlord will spend millions of money renovating such properties when those people move out. So these are issues. It's been a very interesting discussion in the studio today, and we'll be trying to educate our listeners on certain areas of importance that has to do with landlord and tenant obligation. As a landlord, you have an obligation to your tenant. And your obligation, number one obligation is to make sure that the tenant enjoys the property he has paid for. He has paid the rent. The house must not be leaking. There must be power. There must be water, basic amenities. In Lekki, people will rent houses, no light, no potable water. The tenants will be bathing with pure water. These are issues. These days, there's water treatment plants. There's a lot of facilities that you can use to purify water.
Exactly.
The landlord will say, please, this is Lekki now. Go and sort yourself out. No. You have collected rent, and that rent carries the value of a proper house, a functional house, not just for you to abandon the tenant to their fate. The tenant, too, your primary obligation is to, in fact, number one primary obligation of every tenant is to pay rent as I went due. As soon as you default in doing that, you have lost every right you have to that landlord and to that property.
Absolutely.
And you now become a liability. But in Nigeria, you see people, they won't save up for their rent. Just like you said at the beginning of your conversation, it's just like somebody who is expecting a child. People will wait till 8 months and start calling people, please, my wife won't born. She did for hospital tomorrow. You had 9 months to save up for this thing.
It's so disheartening.
So rent